Hello to everyone who's still here. Thank you for staying for what is going to be our last session of the day on the live stage. We're going to be talking about maximising the potential profit gains using after-sales. Joining me on stage is going to be Andy Price, Managing Director of Sigma Vision, and David Backshall, who is Commercial Director of Divido. Please welcome them onto the stage. So we are still streaming on Twitter, Facebook, and on YouTube as well. So don't be scared by the empty seats at the moment. So guys, to start with, why is after-sales so important? We'll start with you, Andy.
Sure. Well, if I can comment on what is our world, which is tyres and tyre-related services, I think there are two issues. First of all, the whole space is very competitive these days. My local Quick Fit would like to service my vehicle, and my local dealership would like to sell me tyres. So the lines are blurred these days, and there's a great deal of overlap in the services which the traditional dealership and the fast fit sector operate. There is also, I should add, maybe a perception still that the dealership is not the place to buy a tyre. It's an expensive way to do it. And so I think in the dealer space we have to try a little bit harder to generate trust from consumers. I think the other factor is one of efficiency, in that there is an awful lot of red work that leaves the dealership. Vehicles might come in for routine servicing, an engine problem with badly worn or even illegal tyres, and they leave with those tyres. So we have to look at how efficient we are in our operations as well. And technology can arguably be a solution to both of those issues. Perfect.
What would you say, David? Why is after-sales so important?
I think the key things why after-sales is so important, it's really, first of all, the margins. There's a huge amount of margins in after-sales. So when you look at the bottom line at the end of the day in terms of the revenue and the profitability, it all really comes through after-sales. The other factor is obviously the customer lifetime value. So being able to retain that customer year after year by providing really good service and really good care for that customer is really important, because you want that repeat purchase of a new vehicle from that customer, but also to really love the service that you've provided that customer. Plus, also as electronic vehicles become more popular, there's going to be a huge amount of opportunities in those accessories. So whether it's additional batteries, charging stations, charging plates, there's a huge amount of revenue opportunity within that. And the latest figures show, last year, the UK after-sales market was worth £21 billion. It's the fourth largest in Europe, which is amazing. And the growth opportunity there you've got is another 5 to 15% this year as well. So the after-sales market is fantastically important to the automotive industry.
So you two both offer what I think are really interesting solutions to dealerships and workshops to make more money. Would you mind explaining them to the audience? We'll start with you, Andy.
Sure, yes. I referred to a technology as being an enabler to address a lot of red work being lost associated with tyres and tyre-related services. And our own innovation is a technology which produces a 3D scan of a tyre. That has some technical benefits in that acquiring a 3D scan comprising 300,000 data points means that the tyre scan is accurate and reliable, even if a vehicle comes in with completely wet or dirty tyres with stones or grit stuck in the tread grooves. So it's a practical technology solution for real-world conditions. But the other thing that we found through releasing this technology a few years ago, and we have something like 1,500 drive-over ramps in operation, mainly in dealer sites across the world, is the effect that the 3D scan has on the consumer. We need to help the consumer in making a purchase decision when a worn tyre is discovered. Purchasing a tyre is a distress purchase. People never want to buy a tyre, they have to buy a tyre. And we need to help them. And producing a 3D scan which allows them to understand the tyre condition, the wear condition of that tyre, helps to overcome those barriers to selling the tyre. The technology also indicates if you have any wheel misalignment, and that of course can get the vehicle onto the alignment rack. I think the alignment rack is one of the most underutilized pieces of equipment in the service area, and to feed sales opportunities to that alignment rack is very effective. So this technology has been in place now for 2 years. And it's grown very successfully in the dealer space, but also the independent area as well. And this year we've coupled a handheld scanner to the drive-over ramp. The output is identical, it's the 3D scan. And it's a very good solution where you don't have quite so much space, you're not channeling your vehicles through a service lane. The dealer layout is perhaps smaller, a bit more restricted space, and you'd like flexibility to go scan tyres in the car park, for instance. The important thing is that you scan every vehicle and every tyre to generate your ROI.
And so when they produce this, I'm guessing a picture or a document that says your tyres aren't quite right, does that leave people just no sort of option to say, oh, I don't want those? And what sort of rate do you get that people go, oh yeah, I'll have the tyres then?
Well, the important thing is that we can present quite a complicated diagnosis in a way that's easy to understand. That the public can look at these 3D scans and they get it. You don't need to be a tyre expert. And in that way we can overcome the skepticism, the instinctive reaction of I'll go home and think about it. You can close the sale there and then. And certainly in our experience with dealers using this technology, the technology can have quite a profound effect to even double tyre sales. So.
Fantastic. So David, tell us a bit about what Divido offers.
Well, what Divido offers is quite simply is a way to finance your car service and also anything else in after sales. So consumers are very used to buying and purchasing new and used vehicles using finance, whether it's PCP or hire purchase. But when it comes to after sales, there can be quite some, unexpected bills, let's say, that a customer is presented with. And a lot of the times, a customer doesn't have any options apart from paying with their credit or debit card. So what Divido does is offer a very simple and frictionless way in terms of being able to apply for finance. It takes less than a minute to apply and to get approved, and then to be able to finance your service, as well as any other accessories. So if you want to upgrade your car with a tow bar or roof rack, etc., then you can add that to it as well. So we just make it's all about the customer. We just make it very, very simple for them to be able to spread that cost of their service plan or after sales accessories.
And what do dealers who use that find? Do they find that they are able to get people to commit to paying for things they might not normally because of the finance offer?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a number of things. We've found that a lot of dealerships have, if they have a customer that's got a large bill, that's a conversation where they actually reduce the bill by 10 or 15%. And instead of reducing that bill, you can actually then help that customer be able to spread that cost of their payments. And we've had some great feedback in the dealerships where after sales agents have used the service plan with the customers, and they've been really grateful that it's been an option for them to use, because they may have had a holiday coming up, they don't want to use their personal funds to finance it, and especially with an unexpected bill, and they maybe have to have new brake discs or new tyres. And having that finance option is a really great way for them to be able to finance and spread the cost.
I guess also people might take more if there's the option to pay less.
Absolutely. I mean, the upsell opportunity on that is tremendous. And we've seen actually that where customers in the past may have refused the red work or amber work on that vehicle, offering them finance, the acceptance rates has increased as much as 25-30%. And it's also a great opportunity, again, to retain customers, to be able to reach out to customers that may have refused red work or amber work in the past, and actually, enlighten them and tell them that actually, now that the dealership is offering 0% finance, for example, to finance their next service plan. So it's a great way to talk to customers and to be able to offer a solution for them, and a great way for dealers to actually increase their conversion rates on their red and amber work as well. So it's a win-win really from a consumer and also from a dealership.
Fantastic. So we'll start with you this time, David. If you were to give one piece of advice to a dealership or to a workshop when it comes to maximising their profit, what would you tell them?
Simply is offer your customers as many options as possible, and anything that you do, make the customer the center of it. So whether it's our marketing to customers, make it very personal, make it targeted as well, and offer that customer the choice of how to pay their bills as well. Because customers think very much on what they can afford on a monthly budget, which they do for buying a new car. Again, for after sales, give them the choice of how they want to pay for their service plan, their parts and their accessories, so they can budget into their monthly payments. But quite simply, just give that customer choice and make that customer the center of everything that they do.
And what would you say, Andy?
Well, I think customer retention is the number one issue. So I would say think about the relationship as well as the transaction. And you have to do your best, whether it's process related or the employment of new technology, to generate the trust with your client that is the reason why they will come back.
Are there any mistakes that you see workshops or dealerships making when it comes to after sales? That's a hard one. You don't have to name names either.
Yes, I think we've seen some mistakes in people rushing out to buy technology that doesn't fit their process. I referred earlier to there being two versions of our technology, for example, a drive over ramp and a handheld scanner. Do your homework, talk to us so we can understand the process better and use the appropriate technology and solution. I made mention earlier to the alignment rack being a very underutilized piece of equipment. You've got to sweat your assets. You've got to make sure that you're using every piece of equipment in the most efficient way to generate the profit from your service area.
Perfect. And what would you say, David?
Some of the dealerships tend to overcomplicate stuff. And they've got a lot of stuff, a lot of paperwork and processes that they need to follow. I would say where I've seen it works really well is where dealerships have made the processes very simple, trained their staff very well and retrained them. And any training program that they have and any marketing and retention strategy that they've got, make it very central to the customer. But make the process very, very simple. And also as well, any feedback that they get, follow up like a devil. Follow up on that. There's many times that customers have made suggestions, put in requests, given feedback, but that feedback's not been followed up on. And the way that now the connected community, everyone wants to be connected, whether it's through their car or whether it's through social media. And people look at reviews, and it's really important to get really good customer satisfaction, but also just going that little bit extra over and beyond to delight and satisfy the customer. They're the key areas, really, as I see, that they can really win.
So that sort of leads on to my next question. It's the customer service side of the business for a long time has sort of stayed in the dealership, in the sales area, and away from the workshop. Do you think that needs to change, or is that something that's already been addressed? Andy?
Sorry, I didn't quite hear you.
Oh, sorry. Do you think that the shift from customer service being something that's really managed in the dealership and the workshop is left alone, is that something that needs to come over, or is that something that's already being addressed? Do we need?
Absolutely. The workshop is integral now, and it's a very big potential contributor to the profitability of the dealership, and it can't be left alone. I think the pendulum is swinging in time, and it's becoming more important as time goes on.
What would you say?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's the whole link between sales and after sales, and it's the whole process of you've got a customer that's bought a new vehicle, is delighted with the vehicle, but then it's the lifetime value of that customer, allowing that customer to come back time and time again and be delighted, and it's the whole link up of making it that whole journey a very personable, tailored journey for that customer. Because if the customer's delighted, they are going to then promote that dealership, that brand, and that's very, very powerful.
Do you guys have any predictions for how technology will improve efficiencies at dealerships and in workshops in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, in our own particular area, which is tyres and alignments, it's about aiding the process and making people more aware of their tyre condition. It's fairly well established, if you look at the stats, that 50% of motorists have no idea of the condition of their tyres. They don't do any kind of routine maintenance. And traditionally, this has only been discovered through a service or an MOT. And I think as time goes on, we'll have a more informed, a better aware motorist and consumer. And we need to tailor our services and our dealership operations to suit.
Yeah, so it's all really about the connected car and about how all the technology is being connected. So from your connectivity of your home to your vehicle, customers want to make sure when they get in their car it's operating at its 100% level. So if the tyre's defected, they want to know it should be connected. All of the diagnostics are connected. And they want to, obviously, with the automated vehicles coming, now, and people obviously buying into that over the next number of years, people are going to have more time to actually utilize the services in car. So that is going to be a massive opportunity, and the car manufacturers already know this, and they're working with lots of third-party technology companies to utilize all of the benefits that will bring the consumers, but all the massive opportunities that will bring the whole automotive industry as well. So the whole connected car within the after-sales area is going to be absolutely massive.
Are you going to be developing more products to work with this?
Yes.
Can you tell us about it?
No.
Oh. Okay, that's all we have time for, I'm afraid. But thank you so much, both of you, for coming along. And thank you, everyone who's stuck around. Thank you for everyone who's watching. And we'll guide you off.
Thank you.
Okay, that's about it from the car dealer live stage for CDX 17. I'd just like to say a huge thank you to all of our guests. A lot of people have given up some of their valuable time today to join us on stage. We're really, really grateful for them to do that. Next year, CDX 18 will be moving. We will be moving to Manchester. It's going to be a 2-day event, first time ever. If you want to make sure you hear about that first, chat to the team on the way out. They've got some flyers all about CDX 18, and you can sign up to get your tickets today.